Welcome to the Private Corporate Counsel Podcast. My name is Tee Persad. I'm a lawyer, mediator, and business consultant at Private Corporate Counsel, a business law firm located in Florida specializing in helping small and medium-sized businesses and the issues that the entrepreneurs who run these businesses face. Today, I want to talk about something that I see very often with small business and medium-sized business owners and the issues they face with their workers. Sometimes their workers delay getting work done. They delay working on a project, or they just get stuck for some reason. Many of the employers I deal with, they receive feedback from the workers, and the feedback are usually external. Lack of resources, lack of financial resources, technological resources, physical resources, inadequate space. Almost all of the reasons that the workers give for not making progress or for the delay or for their inaction is related to some external force that they believe that they don't have any control over. However, when we explore this a little further and we examine the totality of the circumstances, we usually see that it's a very fair mixture of internal factors to the workers themselves and external factors. And so, armed with the knowledge of how to analyze the situation dealing with the workers' inaction or delay or lack of progress, the employer can take the time to digest the information, analyze it, and determine the correct course of action to help the worker make progress, get over the delay, and actually get going in the right direction. So what are some of those factors? When we think about the internal factors that cause people to not get work done or cause them to delay or just slows down their progress, then we have to look at many different categories. The first obvious category is the mental capacity to actually do the work. Do the workers have the knowledge, the skill, the ability, the education, the training, and the experience to actually get the work done? And if they do they have the mental energy to get it done? Are they able to focus on the task that's necessary, or are they distracted on a consistent basis? What type of organizational skills do they have? Are they having problems processing the information? Or are they suffering from some sort of disability or mental illness that prevents them from actually utilizing the mental resources they need to actually get the work done? Those mental analysis issues are difficult to, number one, discover, number two, explore, and number three, analyze. And so having a difficult and careful conversation with the worker is a good first step. Assuming there are no mental limitations, then are there belief systems that the worker has that may get in the way? Sometimes we have belief systems that are grounded in certain religions or politics, just to name the obvious, but also limiting beliefs that have been ingrained in us through our indoctrinations, through our relationships from birth to now. And so examining those belief systems can be very useful in determining whether or not someone is refusing to take action or unintentionally delaying the progress on a project because they feel it conflicts with a belief system that they have. Well, if you get past the mental limitations and the belief limitations, then are there emotional limitations? Is there pain associated with the work that you're asking them to do? Or is there insufficient pleasure points which will motivate them to actually move towards the completion of the project? Well, it's also about emotional energy as well. Do they have enough emotional stamina and energy to actually focus, direct their attention, and concentrate on doing the work necessary? And then, assuming all of those things are okay and you are not able to uncover any reasons, either from a mental limitation point of view, a belief system point of view, or an emotional limitation point of view, then are there any physical disabilities that this person has? Are they experiencing any pain? Is their physical energy level too low for the type of task that you're asking them to do? Are there any other physical limitations that they're dealing with that you need to make some accommodation for? Now, assuming that there are none, and we are clear on the mental issues, the belief systems, and the emotional limitations, is there a misalignment between this worker and the work that you're asking him or her to do? Is there a misalignment with their values, with their mission, with the goals, and with their ambition, where that misalignment is causing them to shift their focus and attention to something else and really distract them in very subtle but important ways from the goal, the task, or the mission that you've tasked them with? Now, assuming that we get past all of those internal issues, what about habits? Does that worker have constructive habits or destructive habits? Do they have the habits necessary to actually see the project to fruition? And how are those habits showing up? Is it showing up in their daily practice? Maybe it's one of those jobs that needs to be assigned to someone else who has better practice habits. A thorough analysis of the internal factors is important, but difficult, primarily because most people don't like to share a lot of things about what's going on inside of them. And let's face it, a lot of times it's what they're doing is trying to protect themselves from being judged, protect themselves from maybe losing an opportunity, or maybe protect themselves from being exposed to who they believe they are, and maintain an impression in other people's minds of who they want other people to believe they are. But regardless of how difficult it is, it's nonetheless very important, because without really appreciating those internal factors, then you won't really have a good appreciation for the reason for the delay, the inaction, or the lack of progress, and you may actually spend an inordinate amount of time and money and other resources providing things to them that will not make a difference. Assuming none of these internal factors play an important role in the delay, inaction, or lack of progress, then I think it's a good idea to also examine the external factors. Did you allocate enough resources to get the job done? Financial resources, physical resources, technological resources, and any other resources necessary? Do you have a large enough team to get the work done, or is the project too big for just one or two people that are assigned to it at this point in time? Do you need to re-examine the human resources associated with it? What about the relationships? Is the relationship that they have important enough for them to have the authority to actually do the work? Do they have good working relationships with other stakeholders that are necessary to get the job done? Are they in a position where they're physically located in an area where there are a lot of distractions because of the relationship that they have with coworkers? Do they have access to social media and their cell phone or other resources where their personal relationships can invade in their work time and distract them from focusing on the project at hand? Are there conflicting relationships that they have with people on their team that causes discomfort and pain and causes friction between them and each other, which ultimately causes some sort of friction with them getting the work done? Are there laws, rules, regulations that are in place that prohibit them from doing certain things? Is it a moral or ethical issue that they're dealing with that's codified in some rule of professional responsibility that they have to adhere to, but which conflicts with the project or the work that you're asking them to do? Is there a lack of organization within the organization itself, which makes it more difficult for them to actually accomplish the task that you're asking them to accomplish? Did you give them enough guidance, training, and did you help them obtain the education necessary in order to be prepared to do the job? Were you clear? Did you give them clarity on the scope of the work and what's required in the timeline? Did you verify that they understood all of those things? And did you ensure that there's alignment between them, their values, their goals, their mission, their ambition, and the organizational's values, goals, ambitions, and mission? And are they in an environment where there are negative emotional triggers or even positive emotional triggers which can actually derail their internal factors and cause them to get disrupted during the process? Are they relying on third parties that are not delivering? And are they getting blamed for the delay as a result of someone else's inaction? Are they allocated enough time to get the work done? So when I talk to clients about helping their workers get past these points of delay, this lack of progress that is being made by the workers, I try my best to get them to analyze the internal and the external factors. Because as I said earlier on, most workers will look at the external factors as reasons for the delay, and employers and leaders in businesses may tend to look at the internal factors and the negative internal factors. And labeling people as lazy or lacking motivation or lacking the knowledge and the skill or being inadequate or something personal. This is what's called fundamental attribution error. And so in order to do your best to fight this fundamental attribution error, you should approach this from a holistic analytical point of view and start from the external factors because those are easier, and then peer into the internal factors. Only after you've examined both the internal factors and the external factors should you actually come up with a plan to actually deal with it. Now, once you've identified the root cause of the problem, whether it's internal or external, then you can actually target your resources to deal with those issues. Whether you need to acquire new resources, you need to acquire new tools, whether you need to do something to remedy that. Now you're doing it from a specific, focused, targeted approach as opposed to just a guessing approach. This is what I call get it done. Understanding and realizing the reasons for delay or inaction. Once you understand the reasons for delay or inaction and have an analytical framework in which you can analyze these types of issues, then you can help your workers overcome their delay and get past that point and help them make progress, not only for themselves, but your organization as well. To learn more about how Private Corporate Counsel can help you and your workers get it done, feel free to give us a call at 407-647-7887.
Please continue to listen to our podcast to learn more. Contact us at 877-647-7887 or email us at info@pcc.law to learn more about the Private Corporate Counsel program and how we can help you and your business on your journey to success.